How do you define success? How does that impact how you feel about yourself? That's what this episode is about. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how you can believe in yourself and be happy with who you are. My name is Ailey. I help people do what they feel called to do. I'm a coach, writer, and yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 158. So I got an email a while ago that was an invitation to watch this musician perform online, like on Zoom or whatever. And the email said something along the lines of, with over 180 million plays on Spotify of this song, this artist is becoming a household name. And then it was basically like, come and join us and hear their song and their other music and hear them talk about their biggest moments on their journey to success. And anyway, this made me wonder a few things. So at what moment did this musician become a success? At what point on that journey? And who decided that they were a success? Was it the musician themselves? Or was it someone else? Like, was it society? Was it Spotify when they hit a certain number of plays? And more than that, who gets to decide? Like, who gets to make that decision? So when I was starting my career, fresh out of university, it seemed like success was always something that was going to happen in the future. When I made more money, when I hit a certain level in my career or got a certain job title, or when I was engaged or married or had kids, or had a house or a car or a certain car or whatever it might be. It was basically when I ticked off all the boxes for the conventional terms of success. And because it was something that was always based on kind of the next thing, the next level, it was based on that circumstance or external condition, it seemed like something that was always just out of reach. And at one point, a few years into my career, I remember being at a community meeting, which is basically like a big department meeting with like probably 100 people or so. And I was sitting at a round table with about 6 other people. They were partners and senior managers. And they were all talking about what was missing in their lives, like how they wanted more money, how they wanted another house, like a summer home, or they wanted to put their kids in a better private school, or whatever it might be. And sitting there listening to them, I was like, holy shit, this might never end. Like the only way that kind of striving for the next level, and I mean striving from a place of like not being happy with where you are. It's totally different if you have that kind of like satisfaction. But if you're looking at things and being like, this isn't satisfying, this isn't what I want, there's something wrong here. Like that kind of striving where it's like, I need to fix something because this isn't feeling quite right. I realized it was potentially never going to end. Like the only time it was going to end was when I decided it was going to end. So that was one of the things that ultimately led to me questioning my path and finding a new path, one of my own creation. So you don't have to achieve anyone else's definition of success. Whatever you accomplish isn't really going to matter if you don't feel good about it. Success isn't about checking all the boxes. It's not about getting what other people have or what other people think you should want. When you chase other people's definitions of success, that's like a clear path to wondering, what's the point? Why am I doing this? Am I wasting my life? Because you aren't living on your own terms. You're living on other people's terms. There's a Henry David Thoreau quote, "When it's time to die, let us not discover that we have never really lived." So success isn't about external circumstances. It's about inner experience. It also isn't about reaching a certain specific point. It's about being in a continuous state of evolution. Because when you stop evolving, you stop living in a way. That's when you become dead inside. So success is a lot of things. It's doing what you feel called to do, trusting your instincts, doing the things that excite you and make you happy to be alive. It's being the fullest expression of yourself and making decisions that make you feel like fuck yes about life. And that inherently is going to involve facing uncertainty with courage and allowing yourself to grow and expand and evolve and face your fears. And when you do that, that's when you experience the thrill of the ride. You act in a way that you trust and honor your inner experience. And that's what creates the experience of self-worth and being happy with who you are. Michelle Obama said, "Success is only meaningful and enjoyable if it feels like your own." She also said, "Success isn't about how your life looks to others. It's about how it feels to you. We realize that being successful isn't about being impressive. It's about being inspired. That's what it means to be true to yourself." So, how do you define success? It's a really important question because it's going to determine how you feel about your life and how you feel about yourself. You get to decide what success means to you. You get to decide what you want to do with your life and how you want to live it. And this isn't a one-time decision. If you don't like how things are going, you can change your mind and decide over and over again. So in the last episode, I mentioned that I recently made a big decision. It's become clear to me that I need to stop doing this podcast at this point. And I don't know if this is for now or forever. I do know that my intuition is telling me I need space in my life for other things, like publishing my book. If you'd like to stay in touch and get more tools and perspective to help you believe in yourself and be happy with who you are, I'll include the link to sign up to get emails from me in the show notes for this episode, which you can find at purelightpodcast.com. That way you can also find out about opportunities to work with me to get support doing what you feel called to do and defining and working towards success on your own terms, whatever they may be. When I started this podcast, the thought of putting my book out into the world was completely terrifying. Like, it was paralyzing. I was pretty much in fight or flight mode anytime I sat down to write, which made it pretty impossible to move forward. There was so much fear that it was really overwhelming, even just to get started. But doing this podcast for the last 3 years has totally shifted that. I have no doubt that I'm totally capable of putting this book out into the world, which is a huge shift. This podcast has been a really amazing way for me to build that capacity within me, to build that confidence and that strength. So thank you for listening. Thank you to all of you who reached out to tell me how this has helped you and shifted things for you. It means a lot, and I am grateful. Until next time, whenever that may be, or until the end of time, potentially, may you be guided by your light.